Hello and welcome to Gravity Clamp, where we use AI to help you bring your business to the next level. And today I want to talk about how we could use a tool like ChatGPT to write a computer program. So I'm a normal guy. I've got a little dabbling in there, but I'm by no means a programmer. And the challenge I run into from time to time is I have these great ideas, but I don't know how to fulfill them. And I'm not going to go out and hire someone and say, hey, I want to do this little thing necessarily. So one of the cool things about working with ChatGPT, and I'm working in ChatGPT 4 today, is that I can go and ask the program to help me out. So here's the thought I had. How cool would it be to have something that would create random prompts that you could use in something like Midjourney, right? If I want to create kind of random pictures, I don't know, maybe just playing around with this idea, is there a way I can create a randomizer that will allow me to generate whatever that prompt is? So that's the thought. So I'm going to work with ChatGPT, see what it can do to help me out here. All right, so we're going to start by saying I would like to create a program that will allow me to create a prompt I can use to generate art in Midjourney. Let's just explain what we're trying to do and not have to reinvent the wheel. So what does ChatGPT? It says, okay, creating it. It agrees it's a fantastic idea, and it's going to say, how do we do this? So one of the things we need to think about is kind of what the subject, what the style, what the mood, if there a color scheme, that kind of thing, and additional details. Now, it's already started to work on the program for us. And if we look in here, it's offering us some suggestions. It's saying, hey, we could have some subjects like a serene landscape, an abandoned spaceship, a bustling medieval market, etc., in different styles, impressionist or surreal or photorealistic, and different moods, if we want to put it in there, and even different color schemes. And then down here, it's saying we're going to randomize each one of these, and the prompt would look something like this. Create a style of artwork of whatever subject that conveys a sense of mood with color scheme and colors. Now, we'll have to modify that if we're going to work with it in Midjourney to a little bit, but that's a nice start. So what I could do is I could come down here and say, all right, let's talk a little bit about what we want to be able to do. First of all, with the subjects here, we only have, 3 of them? I think we're going to need more of that. So let's ask it if it can generate 100 more subjects. So, all right, it's telling us that it has now created a list of 119 unique subjects. I'm going to ask to see the list. Please show me the list. All right, very random, which is perfect for what I'm looking for here. So this will be kind of fun to work with, all right? So we have our subjects. We have basically a grouping of nouns that we can work with. One of the things I love about working with ChatGPT is it's almost like working with an assistant, right? It's like I'm sitting down with somebody who knows a lot more about this topic than I do, saying, hey, can you do this for me? And just like that, came up with a pretty nice list of these different subjects that we're going to include in here. So let's, and now I'm going to ask it because I want to be able to also see what the new script is going to look like. And I'm going to ask it if it can show me the new Python script with this concept in here. We're going to refine this a little bit, and it's going to add in here our list of subjects. So there we are. So we have a whole bunch of subjects that are coming in. This is what the code will look like, again, when we execute it later. And this is how we're going to work with it. Okay, so it's shown me what it's done with the list of now these different subjects. I want to do the same thing for styles. I want to go in here and I want to ask it to increase the number of different artistic styles that we might include as part of this list. I'm going to ask it to please add 50 new artistic styles. May come up with some very interesting things that we might not have come up with ourselves. Okay, now it's telling us it's added the 50 new entries, so now there are a total of 53 since we started with 3. And we'll take a look at those in a moment, but we're on a roll here. And what I'd like to also do is I'd like to talk maybe a little bit about the mood that we're talking about here, but I'm also thinking I would like to have different media being used, different artistic supplies, if you will. All right, so I'm going to ask it if I could come up with a list of 50 new art materials that we might include. So we're going to have a different look and feel for the different pieces being created. We're thinking about things like charcoal, acrylic paint, collage, etc. And add this new value to the prompt. We want to be able to, of course, include this as part of the prompt we're going to be sending to, in this case, Midjourney. Now, when I asked it to do that for me, it ended up generating an error because it was trying to do something that actually wasn't in the code. So one of the things it did is said, let me go kind of rewrite the code. And now if I look in here, I can see all the different subjects that we have. It's added all of the art materials that I just requested, along with some of the other things. It also says that the styles should be replaced. So down here, it replaced the expanded styles to include a whole bunch of different art styles. And it also replaced the prompt. So now it says, create a style of artwork of subject using material that conveys a sense of mood with color scheme. And we're doing pretty well in here. We're expanding this thing out. Now, what I could also do is I could say, do we want to choose additional values for moods, for example? I'm going to leave it the way it is right now. We'll go with those 3, but of course we could expand that out if we wanted to. And color schemes, these are going to work fine. But there is one thing I'm going to need if I'm working in Midjourney is I need to have a tag that says how I want to stylize things. It's basically a tag that goes under the end of our prompt. So I'm going to ask ChatGPT to take care of that for me. Now, possibly I'm making some assumptions as to what it understands, but I'm going to say, please modify the prompt to include a stylized value in the form of --s, which is how we would put it at the end of our prompt in Midjourney, with a possible value range of between 0 and 750. And again, if it randomizes this, we're going to get different results. Let's see what it does with this. Okay, so it's gone in, it's rewritten the entire script for us again because it was looking for some different components. We're starting to see all of our full lists, and if we look at the prompt now, it says create a style of artwork of subject using materials that conveys a sense of mood with color, and then at the end it's going to have the --s and a stylized value, which is going to be, as we look over here, is going to be based on a random value between 0 and 750. So I think we're in pretty good shape. Let's ask it to generate a test prompt for us. So it's returned for me a SQL link here. It says, create a surreal artwork of cherry blossoms using watercolors that convey a sense of serenity with warm colors. And then it's coming in here saying that we want to have a stylized value of 450. Now, the next thing to do is let's test this in Midjourney and see if it behaves the way we want it to behave. So I'm going to copy this prompt and let me bring it over and let me put it into my instance of Midjourney here. Paste it the way it is and let's see what we get. Well, it's accepted it. That's a good start. And I'm not unhappy. There's some pretty interesting things if we look in here from a stylized standpoint. In this case, we're using watercolor as kind of our media here. Let's try and see if we can generate a few more random prompts and work with that. I'm going to ask it to generate 5 more prompts for me. Now, one of the things I find about working with ChatGPT, especially ChatGPT 4, is every so often, if you're working with it for a period of time, you'll be locked out. And there'll be a note saying, hey, you used up all your cycles, come back in 2 or 3 hours. It will actually give you definitive time as to when it's going to unlock it for you. And again, this is because there are a lot of people using the system, and I understand that. It does make it a little bit more challenging. Right now, it says it cannot execute the Python code directly because it would have to rework it and figure it out. I think it's just taking up a lot of cycles. So it's kind of just giving me the poor man's approach, which is going to be perfectly fine for what we're doing. So it says, all right, I want to create an abstract artwork of a lion using acrylic paint that conveys a sense of mystery with cool colors and a stylized value of 250. So again, if I come over here and in Midjourney pop this guy in, let's see what kind of things it brings to the forefront. And that's pretty cool as well. There's some pretty cool things that are happening here if you needed a Technicolor line of any style. Let's try one more of these and see how this might work. We have one here to create a pop art of a cup of coffee that conveys a sense of liveliness with bright colors. Well, that sounds like it's probably going to be bright. My kind of thing. Let's come in here and again, let's pop this in here and let's see what it gives us. And that is pretty cool too. Now, again, what I'm trying to do here is, well, a few things. I want to show that ChatGPT can do some pretty amazing things and help us to build something. Now, do I need to create a Python script to do this? Well, if I want to create something where I can put it in a Python shell and generate these whenever I want to generate new artwork, it's easy enough to do. I can also come back into ChatGPT and work with this conversation, if it remembers what we're doing, and generate these prompts in a similar way. Now, eventually I might want to have something that allows me to generate the prompt and drop it straight into here. And that's something I'll explore on how to do in the future. But the bottom line is simply, I'm able now to come in and be able to come up with new ideas. And if I'm working on art projects and I'm thinking, what could stimulate some ideas for things I actually want to create, I can come in here and work with a randomizer that will really just go in and say, hey, here are some possibilities. And there are a bunch of really cool things. And again, there's no shortage of the types of prompts that we can create as we do this. Bottom line is simply that ChatGPT-4 especially can do things or allow us as mere mortals, people who don't know how to write programs, to write a program. Again, understanding how to read the prompts and understand what's going on is important, but it's not very hard when you look at that and say, okay, I understand that these are the values I'm drawing from, and like Mad Libs, this is how we're kind of putting them into the framework, and in order to have Midjourney use it, I need the stylized tag. But once you have that stuff down, it's easy enough to come in, and as we can see, we're generating all sorts of cool things. Anyway, that's all I wanted to share with you today. And if you're interested in what we're talking about with AI, we'd love to have you join us on a regular basis. We drop a video every single week and would love you to be part of the conversation. Lots of great things happening in AI, lots of exciting things coming your way. We're going to talk about how you can use AI in your business to bring it to the next level. Anyway, that's all I have for you this time. Talk to you soon.